it was a slap in the face for me. Like, this is not Kayla. This is not the person that has gone through the adversity that I've gone through in my past. Don't know if you know my story, but it goes very deep. And so I just had to put, my big girl pants on and be like, what, let go of the negativity and just, use this as a platform, help as many people as possible, and do the things that I need to be doing.
Did you ever think of quitting the show then because of all that?
Um, I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have. Um, I think all of us had those moments where we were like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Um, but the show needs realness. The show needs authenticity, and the show needs humility. And I definitely am one of the ones that bring that. So,
Yeah, you do. Because you get to that
yeah.
point, and you're like, look at all of this, and like, wait, like now this could be affecting my real business, and like, I love my
Mhm.
real job. Like, this isn't worth it. So I could
Yeah.
see that you getting to the point of that for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would you say, besides yourself, of course, is like not for the show, but just truly the best agent out of the people that are on the show? Like, who is just the best actual agent in your opinion, besides yourself?
Thanks. Brandi definitely hustles very hard. She works really hard. Rose really does as well. And um, gosh, Geo. Yeah. So I think those three genuinely work hard and they get business. So
I mean,
yeah.
Geo is the self-proclaimed, biggest, highest seller in the office, as we've seen. Who,
Right.
personal feelings aside, but who do you think is out of the people on the show is the weakest agent that needs to step up their game?
I'm not gonna answer that, but just go look up the numbers. Go look up who actually doesn't sell, and that will give you the answer.
It's all there in public records, right?
Yep.
What about, we saw, Brandi actually, I feel found her voice this season. Also, we saw a lot, Brandi was very vocal, as were you, I mean, even though we know about some edits, against, that she wasn't really in favor of Hall and Tyler. And we did see this come to, you know, ahead in Cabo. And, we saw Alex Hall, suggest that Brandi was going to strike her and, a lot of other things. And now that it's aired, there's a lot of people have come for Alex Hall about these microaggressions. Like, what are your feelings about all of this?
Yeah, I recently spoke on that, and I am going to choose not to continue to speak on that. It's a very sensitive subject, and the last thing I want is for anyone to attack Hall or Polly. Um, Here's the thing. People are just not educated when it comes to microaggressions. Racism looks different today. It really does. It doesn't look like calling a person a name anymore. It's treating them differently. It's you know um you don't deserve this opportunity because, like, it's different ways of how you treat and speak to a person. um and there was a lot of that happening in season 2 and in season 3. I don't know if they're going to show it in season 3, but I think people need to be more educated on how that looks like. And I just don't think that those two are very educated on that. So, maybe this will open a door for them to look into it and maybe take some accountability on some things they do and say. But, based on the history, it doesn't look like that will happen.
You don't think? Because that's the thing. I mean, that was my next question of, even though you don't really want to speak on it, like, I don't think I have any microaggressions, but if someone said I did, I would say, wow, wait, what? And then I would, I'm not mad at anyone. I need to do my own, like, wait, like, wow, I'm learning something and I have to go
Yep.
deal with this because I didn't think I did. But if it's being said, I'm going to look into this because now that's just who I am as a person. Like, you don't think now that these things are out there by a lot of
Mhm.
the public that Hall or Polly, and I'm not coming for them, will say, like, wow, wait a second.
Right. Well, it's because you have human decency, and you also have the ability to reflect and look at yourself and be like, Is that how I make you feel? Is that I'm so first of all, I'm sorry if that's how I made you feel. Like that was not my intention, but please tell me like what does that mean? And taking the time to understand that. And I think if more people today learn to take accountability and do that and say that, I mean, this world would be a completely different place.
Yeah. It's just that people are like, oh, I don't got time for that. Or no, it's like, well, make the time. And, I know you don't think this about yourself, but shouldn't you at least
Mhm.
spend a minute, 5 minutes? Like, does it,
Yeah.
right? Like you would, it's just more like, wait, like, no, I
Yeah.
actually need to be checked. And I didn't think I did, but this is a bigger issue. And I'm not mad at anyone. I'm mad at myself. So I have to go deal with this now. Right. You would hope that that's, like you said, it would be a much different world. Right.
Absolutely. This needs to be another short clip at this moment for people to hear this. Everyone needs to hear this. It's so important. So absolutely 100%.
I would agree with that. What about, there are some other things that came out this season, like when, this whole thing about, Jarvis, that she's a professional ring collector and she's been married 3 times and engaged. And it implies that, she's just using this guy and maybe taking these rings and going and having, a whole drawer full of expensive rings that you can sell one day. Like, was that shocking to you?
No, I wish I was her. I want to have that problem where, I get engaged and married so many times. Like I've never been engaged or married and I'm single and I would love to find my husband and she's over here collecting rings. I want that problem.
You and me
So,
both,
you
sweetie.
know,
You and me both. Someone come and give me a ring over
please.
here.
Yes, sign me up. And I've met Sergio. We've spent some time together, all three of us. I've been on double dates with them. They're absolutely amazing people. So that's just laughable at this point. I think they're just reaching.
I think they're reaching. What about the other narrative, when like, Jarvis and Rose broke up? And I mean, I know you guys had some conversations, like you said, off air, but the narrative that, Rose, she flirts. It is, it was said, it was implied that she sleeps with clients. Like, how do you feel about
Mhm.
that? That's a pretty
I don't
big
know.
accusation to someone's business.
I would hate if that was said about me. That is so like
Yeah.
that's terrible. I don't think that's the case. Like, listen, Orange County is very small town. Okay, real estate makes it even smaller, and social media even makes it more smaller, right? And let me tell you something. I've lived here my entire life. I know everybody, and I've never heard that. I've never heard of Rose sleeping with someone to get a client. Um, it's ridiculous. So I don't know if I answered your question. But I mean, so the show makes it look like I mean, she's Rose. I some people will call it flirting. That's just Rose being Rose. Like she says things